hello there, I'm John Leiberman. Nice to see you. This is a special presentation of HNGN News, our continuing law enforcement series. Tonight we have a very special guest. You submitted many questions for him. Jack Trimarco, he's a polygraph expert. He was a special agent for the FBI. He's worked on numerous high-profile cases, including the Oklahoma City bombing, the Unabomber investigation, and let's just get right to him, joining us from the West Coast. Good to see you, Jack.
Hey, John. Good to be here. I'm honored.
Jack, what's the most interesting case that you have ever worked on?
You know, John, I've been asked that question many times over the years, and I always pause because although I guess interesting is not the right word, the most important tests that I ever ran were exams when I was with the FBI where there was a missing child, and time was of the essence, and someone either volunteered to take a polygraph test or was asked to take a polygraph test and then volunteered. The FBI, you should know, whenever there's a missing child involved, we always polygraph the father, the last person to have been with the child, or the person who reports the disappearance to the police. And about 1/3 of the time, everything ends right there. We've got a suspect, we've got some focus, and then eventually we find the child. In my experience, there were people who failed the polygraph and confessed to taking the child, and in most cases murdering the child. And of course, by that time it was too late. We recovered the body. If there's any comfort in a case like that, you know that that person is never going to kill another child. So,
Jack, what is it that the general public might not understand about polygraph testing?
John, I think that most people that come in to see me in the private sector to take a polygraph test expect it to be over in 5 or 10 minutes. They remember that old Carnival TV show with thumbs up, thumbs down, or green light, red light, or and they think that you can ask 20 or 25 questions on a polygraph test, when in fact, the high-end polygraph examiners, the professionals, ask what's known as specific issue polygraph testing. So if you want to know if a particular person robbed a bank, I can test that. And I can test it with 90 to 93% accuracy.
Wow.
However, it's going to take 2, maybe 2.5 hours for that test to be done. So I think the most constant misconception is, how long is this going to take? And the other thing is, people think that if they're nervous, it might skew the effect of a polygraph test. And in fact, we all expect, that is we in the profession, expect people to be nervous when they come in to take a polygraph test. And that is whether they did it or whether they didn't do it.
Right.
Whether they robbed the bank or they didn't rob the bank. The people who didn't do it hope I'm as good as I'm supposed to be, and they hope that the polygraph process works because they want everyone to know, they want to scream it from the rooftops, that they are not the bank robber. And so they're nervous because it's the most important thing in their life at that time. Now, the other group of people are the bank robbers, and for whatever reason, mostly because they're desperate, they're trying to use my reputation to impress the authorities, be it the DA or the United States Attorney's Office, that they didn't rob the bank. And so they've read something on the internet, they think that they're going to try it and maybe beat me. The bottom line is they're nervous, they just hope that I'm not as good as I'm supposed to be, and they hope that the polygraph process doesn't work.
Well, we all know, Jack, that you're one of the best, and that's why I wanted to ask you, do you foresee a day when these tests will be fully admissible in court? I mean, why aren't they admissible in a court of law right now?
John, that's a great question. And as of a month ago, you should know this is gigantic news in the world of law and polygraph. In federal court out of the state of Florida, polygraph was admitted as evidence. And so the floodgates have opened, at least on the federal level, and that will be the new precedent. Now that's
Wow.
when the exam is done by the best and it's quality control reviewed and all of the protocol and demands of the professional organizations such as the American Polygraph Association or the American Association of Police Polygraphists, when those protocols are strictly adhered to, we're going to see a lot more exams admitted in federal court.
And I imagine that you think they should be admitted across the board.
No, I don't think they should be admitted across the board because I am on the ethics committee for the California polygraph examiners, and I see all the garbage out there. The reason that polygraph is not admissible in the state of California is because there's no licensing or certification. Now, I'm a private investigator, and for that, I had to be licensed and certified. As a polygraph examiner, it's the wild, wild west. Everyone's welcome. You don't need to have been to a polygraph school. In fact, you can go to a toy store and buy a Ouija board and claim to be a polygraph examiner, and that's going to fly. If the public doesn't know any better, they're going to pay you for your Ouija board. And so for that reason, John, polygraph should not be admitted in the state of California or in many states unless there's certification and licensing. In other words, we have to have the best of the best with these people's lives and futures in our hands. It's got to be done right, or it shouldn't be done at all.
I want to get to, we had a number of questions from our viewers and the readers of HNGN. I want to get to a few of them now. They're literally coming in as we speak, so I'm going to read them, some of them here off of the phone. How difficult is it to beat a lie detector, Jack, and can specialists like yourself beat it?
Well, as polygraph has become computerized over the last 20 years, the old tricks of the countermeasure specialists, if you will, back in my day, it was the KGB, the Russian intelligence service. They were our number one competition, if you will, in the world of truth and deception.